Hey there, I'm Eric Tennant, and I was sent out the Dumfume 12.8 volt 100 amp hour battery to review. This is a dumb battery. Hey, don't click away. That's not actually a bad thing. That just means it has no Bluetooth, and basically it is what it is. It's very easy to operate. No kind of app or anything is needed for this. So this is definitely the way to go for some people that aren't into the apps for everything. I personally do like the apps on them, to tell you the truth, because I can go through and look at the cell voltage and everything. So this battery is able to charge up to, well, they recommend 20 amp hour charging time, but they say it can do up to 100 amp hour on the charge. But yeah, I would stick to the 20 amp hour to get you the longevity out of it. As far as discharging, it can easily discharge the 100 amp hours out of this battery. So that would give you 1,280 watts within 1 hour you'd be able to discharge. They say you can also do a discharge up to 300 amp hours before the fault protection kicks in, but I definitely do not have a machine that can test up to that ampage to see that, so I'm just gonna have to take their word for that. Okay, let's go ahead and do the first test with my meter here. Looks like it's pulling 13.27 volts. I love this little meter. Down in the description below. Battery comes with over temperature and low temperature protection. The high temperature protection will kick in about 149 Fahrenheit, and the low temperature protection will kick in at 32 Fahrenheit, or as we know it in the rest of the world, freezing, or 0 Celsius. And the battery weighs around 22 pounds. It has a size of just under 13 inches by 6.5 inches deep and 8.5 inches tall. If you include the terminal post, it's actually sitting about 9.5 inches tall. So just to clear something up, just because lithium ion family has got a really bad reputation, lithium ion is actually the family name of all the batteries that contain lithium. This is a lithium iron phosphate battery, and these are much safer than the lithium cobalt e-bike batteries. These are the guys that you hear about on the news so much that when they have a runaway, basically, yeah, there's nothing stopping them. They're like a runaway train. So not to be confused with lithium iron phosphate, or as some of you out there call it, LiFePO. LiFePO4. Yeah, it's lithium iron phosphate. That's more of the chemical name breakdown there on it. So these are about as dangerous as your home refrigerator. And what I mean by that is if your home refrigerator shorts out positive and negative, electrical fires they're no joke. They're very hot, very hard to extinguish. These could do the same thing as a refrigerator. They could short out and start a fire. As far as them exploding, this is actually very hard. They vent a little bit of hydrogen when they start smoking out of the side of them. So they would have to be enclosed in a perfectly boxed in area. And then the balance of hydrogen and oxygen has to get perfect with the ignition switch for it to blow up. And yeah, boom. Type of an explosion. There's only been a couple cases of these actually causing any kind of fire, so do not mistake these with the lithium cobalt guys here that are more prone to catching fire, unfortunately. The trade-off reason that e-bikes go on these is lithium cobalt is much lighter. Lithium iron is much heavier, so the e-bike world adopted the lighter technology. Another really nice thing about lithium iron phosphate is e-bikes have around 300 to 500 charge cycles, which that's not very good. Lithium iron phosphate has 3,000 to 5,000 charge cycles on it, so it would be very hard to drain this within 10 years. You would have to cycle the battery multiple times to be able to hit those kind of numbers within the 10-year period. So I could read these spec sheets all day. I could show you the outside of the case, how pretty it is, but that doesn't show you anything about the performance of the battery. So let's go ahead and send this off to my lab and get it a test, and let's see if it's any good. All right, the results are in. So for the first discharge test, the battery pulled 1,075 watts, which that's actually 5 watts short of its claimed amount. So the first test was a fail. This is probably from the battery sitting a little bit and the batteries got out of balance. So once I seen that it failed the first test, I went ahead and ran that test again just to confirm my numbers. So then on the second test, the battery pulled 1,294 watts. So that is 14 watts over the claimed amount. I would have definitely liked to see a little bit more padding on the test results. So I also had them send me out the charger for this battery to test its efficiency. A lot of these chargers have an efficiency between a rating of 10% loss to 20% loss. So this unit, it took 1,539 watts to charge. Doing the math on that, that was 259 watts over the battery's capacity. So the charger has a loss of 19.84% on it. Yeah, I would like to see that closer to the 10% definitely. So I just looked up the price on this unit. Wow, that's definitely where the Dumfume is highly impressive. This battery is running $149 right now. So basically anybody that is running lead acid in an RV, first of all, I'd have to say, stop. Just stop using that stuff. You're burning your own money. It's crap technology. I really wish they'd stop using it in cars. I know it's cold cranking start amps is what they're going for there. So you could just pretty much take this 12.8 volt battery on any RV and drop it right in. You don't need to do any kind of upgrades, I found. The one downside to that is because the voltage sits higher on these, you're going to lose your top end, your 30% on the top, so you're only going to get 70% of the battery's capacity. But wait, that's not all about the lead acid. Your claimed amount on your lead acid battery, you can actually only get half of that amount. So you can only drain the lead acid battery down to halfway or it causes damage on them. So that's just another reason, stop buying these from these guys. Maybe the car batteries will start going down. So yeah, you can drop this right into your RV and it'll work right away. If you want to get that full 100%, you'll be able to find a 12 volt charge controller that you'll be able to hook in between your vehicle and this battery, and that'll get you all the way up to the 100%. But even without that charge controller in there, you're only losing 30% versus that 40 or 50% bottom that you're not able to use. If you are one of those people that have multiple banks in your RV or camper van, you can save 2/3 of the weight by switching over to these, and then you save additionally on your gas mileage. This battery comes with a 5-year warranty, so they're standing behind their work, which is definitely a good thing. I would just go after 4 or 5 years, I'd check your capacity. If it's not pulling at least 80%, I'd definitely hit them up on that warranty. The next test I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if the battery is able to pull the 100 amp hours that it's rated for. Actually, probably gonna go a little bit over. This heat gun here that I'm gonna use to test it is 1,350 watts. So I got all the meters here to test how many amps are pulling through the unit. So I'm looking to do over 100 amps for at least 1 minute. All right, so here we go. Test begin. So we're currently pulling 133.31 amps, 1,550 watts. Nice. And the unit passed the 100 amp hour test. But yeah, hey, I actually like this inverter. It's got a built-in automatic transfer switch. Haven't tested that part of it, but it's a Zeta whale 2,500 watt hour inverter. So yeah, I'll link that down in the description below. I like this one. I had it hooked up to the computers for the discharge test, and whenever it switched back and forth off my automatic transfer switch, I seen no surge, unlike my one that I'm actually using. So if you're looking to get one of these Dumfume batteries, I definitely recommend them at their price point they have them at. That is awesome. You can find a QR code over here. And if you scan that with your phone, that'll take you over to the page where you'll be able to purchase a unit. But wait, if you want to save a little bit more money, I got a coupon code here. You just enter that in at checkout and that'll save you a bit more. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Until next time, my name is, well, it's still Eric Tennant. Computer in 2026 simulation.